Welcome to Becoming a Mortgage Broker with me, Ash Borland. And in this video series, it's all about teaching people how to become a mortgage broker. I'm a mortgage business coach. I help brokers scale their businesses to 6 and even 7 figures. But this channel and a lot of the stuff I do in this channel is focused on helping brokers get into the industry and navigate that space. And in today's video, we're going to be answering a question which has actually been submitted by one of you guys on the channel. And that question says, hey dude, awesome videos. I'm near enough completed my CeMAP 1, 2, and 3. Will book exams soon after. What do I need to do next after passing my exams? Any tips, please? This is also a career change for me, so I'd really appreciate some genuine, honest advice. Don't worry, you're going to get some genuine, honest advice here because it's the only thing I can really do because I'm not very good at anything else. So let's dive into this one. So the idea of this question is about being what to do once you've passed your CeMAP exams. That's pretty much what I'm trying to answer here in this question here is, what would I do once I've passed my exams and move into the next steps? So got my notes in front of me. First thing I would do is I would start looking for a role. So you need to get your CAS, which is that competent advisor status. You have to get that in order to become truly qualified and truly able to advise. That is required. And so that's going to have to be your next focus as an advisor. Now, there are a couple of routes you can go down to this. You have to work traditionally under, and you have to actually pretty much always work underneath somebody who already has competent advisor status in order to get signed off. And you can do this, like I said, either via the corporate route or by the independent route. So if you go via the corporate route, that would be going down companies like Connell's, probably the biggest one to talk about. I've went there, that's how I did mine. One of the largest ones, was Connell's and Countrywide, but now Connell's own them all, so it's just Connell's. But that is one way of doing it. And then you have the independent route, which is going down the route where it's an independent mortgage brokerage. Maybe it's a one-man band, maybe it's a large firm, but they are independent. And they are the people who they get effectively not corporate. There are two different routes about going down. Now, pros and cons. Corporate is going to give you a significantly faster track to writing business. So if your job is to get up and running, and that's your goal, is you want to get up and running and writing business as fast as possible and making income as fast as possible, corporate is going to be the way. Independent is going to give you usually a more holistic look and probably a slower but a lot less stressful usually way of doing it, because corporate's going to have that very much that corporate pressure of sales and 9 to 5 and not 9 to 5, sorry, it was 7 to 7 to be completely honest with you. It's not 9 to 5. It's a long day as a broker. Independent, it's going to be a little bit more relaxed. You could potentially do it part-time while you work and do something else. There is a lot of kind of ebb and flow when it comes to that as a broker. So it's choosing which one is right for you. Like I said, that's just the independent different sides. For me, I prefer the corporate route myself. That's the way I went. It is the way I recommend most people go if you really want to learn how to do the job fast and get paid fast, but that's how you do it. Now, how do you find these jobs? That's always a question I get asked. Okay, LinkedIn's going to be your best friend in this. Go to LinkedIn, go and see if you can. So with LinkedIn, what you want to do, because people ask this question a lot, they'll say, oh, there's no jobs available. In the corporate places, there's always jobs available, pretty much. Or if not, they're always looking and interviewing people for when a job is available, they'll contact you. And so with this, what you want to do is go on LinkedIn, brand your profile up to say that you're getting into mortgages, and you want to start adding and connecting with and speaking to people who have the job role of MSSM within Connell's. And that stands for Mortgage Services Sales Manager, MSSM. And they are the ones who are the sales managers. They're the ones who are managing the team. They are the ones who recruit. And so they're always on the lookout for new people because the churn rate in people leaving is very high. So if they are always on the lookout to try and replace people and find people who can replace the staff who have left. And if you're qualified, because they'll put you through qualifications on their own if you're not qualified, that's how much they need people. But if you are qualified, they will fast track you through. They'll love that. And so you having your CeMAP exams will make you more appealing to them. So if you reach out to them and say, look, I'm local to your area, I've just passed my CeMAP exams, or I'm about to take my CeMAP exams and pass it. I'd love to just put my name in the hat for any roles you have. They will signpost you. Then I just put them in and I constantly follow up with them every month or so. I literally would follow them every month. That looks good, by the way. People think I'm going to wind them up. You're not going to wind them up. You're trying to demonstrate to them that they're looking for good salespeople. If you follow them up every single month, that shows that you're resilient, that you want the job, that you're hungry. That's going to give you, that's how actually one of the feedback I got when I got into the industry was I just kept following this guy up over and over again. Hey, missed your call. Can you speak to me again? Can you speak to me again? And eventually he was like, yeah, okay. And then when I got the job, he said, there is no way I wasn't going to give you a job because you were just relentlessly following me. And that's exactly what I need. So that's one way. The independent side, a little bit more tricky. The budgets are smaller and at the end of the day, you're taking money out of the pot of someone who actually owns the business. These corporates are a lot larger. They're faceless organizations in a lot of cases. And these budgets is just wooden, was it like fake dollars, wooden dollars? It's not real. So to them, to the people who are running, because they're on salaries. So it's a different type of concept and a different way of looking at it. So for the independent, best way around this is trying to find some local independents and start getting cozy with them, comfy with them. Go to the broker potentially that you did your mortgage with, see if they've got any space. This is harder to find. You have to kiss a lot of frogs to find a prince with this one. Is possible to do. One of the best people I would recommend for this is a guy called Craig Skelton, who is a client of mine and a very good friend. He's been interviewed on some of my podcast episodes that are on this channel. You'll see that there. And he's quite good at bringing people in. So that's something to look at as well. So that is the type of thing about finding new roles. But I've got some other stuff I want to talk about too. You also have this thing that I think you should be doing, which is start upskilling your sales skills. So as a broker, it's a sales job. And CeMAP doesn't teach you that. CeMAP teaches you a little bit about what's going on, but it's a sales role. You're going to be selling a lot. You're going to be speaking to a lot of people. You need to understand to be successful at this the way that I was and the way that I teach my clients. It's all about behavioral psychology. It's all about, good sales and closing tactics. It's all about like marketing, branding, influence, persuasion. All of these things play a huge role in the type of stuff that we are trying to do. And because of that, many people overlook this, and that's why they're not as successful as they would like to be. And so if you are wanting to be a really good broker and you're trying to fill this time, you need to move on to the next thing. The CeMAP doesn't get you in the door. The CeMAP gets you in the door, sorry, it doesn't get you the job. It doesn't get you success in the job. And so you really do need to start becoming a sales student. Learn sales. If you don't want to learn sales and you think sales isn't for you, leave. Don't do this job. You might go work for a bank, but that's a dying job. That's going fast. So, you can go and work for a bank potentially, but that's not why you're in here. You're not going to make good money. You're not going to be able to have autonomy and be able to do the career you want. You're going to want to be a broker, so you need to start to learn to sell. And the final point I'll add in this video is I would start saving in case you have to take a income drop. Because you're saying in this question, you said you have a career change. And that might mean that you might be higher up on a career ladder and have to take a drop in order to be successful at the new place. And this is fine. This is common. It's okay. And I think that the mistake that people make when it comes to this is they think that they want to be able to make the same amount of money and also do this job. So they want to leave their career where they're highly skilled in that job, move to a new career where they're low skilled in that job or no skill in that job and want to match the salaries. And that's not going to happen. And so sometimes people do it part-time. There's all different ways of doing it. But my best thing I would say with this is start saving. And if you haven't already, if you're doing your CeMAPs, start saving so that you have a cushion to be able to jump in and do this job properly. Because that is where the real value is going to be. The real success comes when you're all in. Part-time is very difficult to do, by the way, with this job. It's sometimes sold as this idea that you can go part-time and you can just do this alongside your job. It's very difficult because it's a very demanding job. And so you do need to be quite, not aggressive with it, but you do have to attack it every single day. And so that's going to be something important. So I would say if you haven't already, start saving if possible. Obviously, I know it's not as simple as that. Start either saving or making cutbacks in your lifestyle so that you are at a more affordable level so that you can take that pay cut initially. Now, the thing with this job is if you do this very well, and I literally do say this, you hear this all the time with these average incomes. If you're self-employed and you do this job very well, the sky's the limit. If you're the people say, oh, well, they might make 100,000. I have advisors who are doing 600, 700,000. That's with them and an administrator. It's very doable. And they work very hard and they do all these things and they skill and it took them many years. It's not like an overnight thing, but it took them many years, some of them over a decade to get to that point. But it's very possible. So if you've got to take a step back, from a career that maybe you feel like you can't go any further in, but you can with this and make the earning potential is significantly higher, then I think you need to weigh that up yourself and decide if that's for you or not. But that's what I would say, save up at the increase. So if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to ask me any questions that you have. And please do come and follow me on Instagram. That's at Ash Borland. And if you have a question, like I said, if you would answer, put them in the comments here and share me. If possible, it would mean the world to me if you could share my videos and share my channel to any of the CeMAP study groups you have, because this is purely about me trying to help as many people get into the industry as possible. It would mean the world to me. Genuinely, it would. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.